And thank you for joining me for today's Vinyasa yoga. So if you joined me this past Sunday, we did a bit of an intimate yoga. I didn't talk that much, and it was just kind of a nice restorative flow to restore and heal and relax the body. Today we are gonna get into more of a fun flow, a Vinyasa flow that is nice because the Vinyasa flows, it can be a lot of movement that just kind of rolls through, but you can do it at your own pace. And usually you tend to pick up on the next movement because there's a pattern to it. So we're gonna start with a warm up, jump into some stuff for our right side, jump back, and then jump into some stuff for our left side. So by that second time, you'll start to figure out where we're going. And then by the third, we'll end in a nice Shavasana and take a moment to get nestled in before we end our flow. So just give me a moment. I try not to pause things too much, but I want to make sure that you can see me on the floor. All right, there we go. I want to make sure you can see my mat, which is almost more important than being able to see my head. But and I'm also trying to make sure everything's all lined up so that I'm not hitting things, so make sure that you have a lot of room and space to move. I'm always switching my rooms around to see how much space I have, what my body feels in the way or not. So this flow is gonna have a little more of stretching and lengthening. We're gonna be all about lengthening and growing for the day. So I just wanna make sure that you can see me. If not, then we will work on that and move some things backwards so that you can see me as much as you can. So I do apologize, but I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And even in this one, you can see my door and you can see my puppy gates, which are nice. So you can have an idea of just that awakening and moving the body. And like I said, you may not be able to see my arms up fully, but that's okay because I will give descriptions of what I'm doing a little bit more today, just because it is a Vinyasa flow, so it's gonna be a lot of things. We're gonna work on breath, we're gonna work on lengthening, we're gonna work on stretching and growing. And I have not stretched out yet because I want to show how, and as you're going through this sequence, you'll be able to reach a little bit further each time and extend those arms or that leg a little bit more each time as you go through the flow. So usually Vinyasa flow, if you're in a class, tends to be like you go through the sequence 3 to 5 times or whatnot with a little bit of tweaks. But all right, let's jump right in, let's go. I usually do mine silent so you can hear me, but feel free to play your favorite playlist, your favorite song as we're moving through. If you have this going on your phone, you may want to hear me call out poses, but if you have like a projector or you have this on your TV or on your laptop screen that's pretty big, you may just want to watch me flow and you just roll along with your playlist. I will start incorporating actually some music, so that'll be something fun to add into, and those classes will be less of me speaking and more music, so you just want to follow along with those too. And before I forget, and we jump right in, don't forget that right now I am competing in the Miss Health and Fitness 2020. You can learn more about that online. I'll also leave a link to some information. You can find links in all my bios on all my pages and socials. But basically, I'm in competition for that, and today is the last day because in Miss Health and Fit, the only way I can win is with your help. So if you can do a free vote every day, and or you can also do warrior votes, which are purchased votes, and the funds for those votes actually support an organization that aids and helps veterans. So definitely check that out. You can find information more about the warrior votes and the regular free votes. So please vote for me. Let's get started. So since this is a nice Thursday, we're getting ready for the weekend. We're gonna start, if you want, at the top of your mat. So hello, Thomas. My cats always come to join me. So we're gonna start at the top of your mat, and actually I want you to stand there. I just want to this a little bit because we are gonna be in a lot of standing positions today. So I don't want that too low. I'm so used to aiming my camera at the floor for a lot of restorative poses. So you're gonna stand at the front of your mat, just kind of get settled in, take a moment. This is a nice awakening flow, so we don't need to be, too settled in, but just starting to be aware of your body. Maybe close your eyes for a moment just to get aware of how your body is feeling, and just find yourself in this moment. So no matter where you are in your day, if you're doing this live with me in the morning, great. If not, if you're catching the replay later in the day, just take a second, find yourself in this moment so that you can bring focus and attention to the now. We tend to get lost in the past and fear the future, and it's nice to just be able to come and live and breathe in this moment. And as we're coming together, so we're going to start, take those arms, and you can put a little bit of space in your feet. I'm going to take those arms and wave them around and raise them up to the sky while you're inhaling. And as you exhale, you're going to bring palms together and bring them down to your chest or your heart chakra. And then we're going to repeat that at your own pace just 2 more times. You're going to drop those arms, wrap them around. We do a little bend in the legs. Bring those arms up into the ceiling, palms together as you exhale. Bringing those palms down to chest again. Becoming aware of this moment. Do a little bend, moving your feet again. Wrap those arms around 1 more time, bringing them up into the sky. And palms together. Exhale. Bring your hands down to your heart. Take a moment. Take a breath. See how you're feeling. We're just getting warmed up. All right, and this time we're going to repeat. We're going to take those arms, drop them down, swoop them around, maybe bend at the knees. Bring those arms up to the ceiling. Get a nice stretch. Maybe go on your tiptoes if you're feeling already pretty comfortable. Bring those tiptoes back down. Drop those arms and roll over into a forward fold. So we're going to start slow, bending at the back. Bringing those arms down to your feet. I guess I did not warm up yet. So we're going to get a little stretch in here. Take a breath. And each time that you breathe, take about 3 breaths in forward fold. And each time that you breathe, get a little bit deeper in that forward fold. Maybe bend at the knees a little bit if you need, if you're still getting warmed up for your day. Even with the knee bend, you'll feel this in the back of your calves and your quads. Take 1 more breath. And then rise up into tabletop flat back position, just raising up into the flat back, starting to work on lengthening. Hands can be on your mid-leg. And release, drop the hands down to the floor, and you're going to slowly walk or hop back into plank depending on how warmed up you are. I'm still warming up, so I'm going to take a right foot, left foot into plank. Take a moment, just feel your body, see how it feels, really start to warm it up. Take a breath, and on your next breath, just walk slowly those hands back into downward dog. Your legs might be a little tight. It's okay if you need a little bend in those legs right now. This is your first downward dog, so that is totally okay. You may need to pedal your feet out a little bit. And with this wider stance, it's downward dog. If you actually bring it in a little bit where your legs are still lined up with your arms and shoulders, that's more of a mountain pose. So I'm going to stick with downward dog, a little bit wider. Taking a few breaths in downward dog, working on the posture of your back, having a flat back, straight back. It's all about lengthening once again. And if you're warmed up, make sure to hold those abs in tight, hold that core in tight, and your feet, make sure, see, as you go through the flow, getting those heels closer and closer to your mat. All right, we're going to slowly move back into plank position, come down, controlled, lowering to the mat. And since we're warming up, depending on how warmed up you are, you have your hands at shoulders length, and you can go just a little bit of a back bend here. If you have to warm up again, you can go into a cobra, or if you're feeling pretty warmed up or you want to see, you can slowly move into an upward dog. Just get a nice stretch here. And release. Going back into downward dog at your own pace, either lifting up through plank controlled and rolling right back into downward dog, or just crawling the hands back if you need to. And then you're going to look up at the front of the mat, whether hop or walk to the front of the mat. For me, first time around, let's warm up together. I'm going to walk that right foot, walk that left foot up to the top of the mat. You will find yourself in forward fold again. And we're going to slowly wrap those arms around and come back into a mountain pose. Feels good, doesn't it? Then we're going to go back into a forward fold. Slowly moving down and over, forward fold. Taking some breaths here. And while you're over here laying in forward fold, start to really let the head hang heavy. Take those hands, wrap them to opposite elbow. Maybe do a little swing here, a little swing side to side. Take another little breath, release those hands, and we're going to slowly take those hands, bring them up to your sides. And depending on how comfortable or far you can, you're going to take those hands and add them to the back. And just let that hang still. And to intersect your fingers, find some comfort here. Maybe let the arms hang a little bit. If you're feeling a little bit more catchy, you can even kind of do a little stretch in reverse, but just have them here for a moment. You're hanging forward fold. Taking some breaths, getting a little deeper. And then release those arms, bring them back down to the mat. Coming up into flat back, tabletop. Releasing that breath. And once more, coming into tabletop. And releasing that breath. And we're going to wrap the arms around once more. Wrapping them around, lifting them up to the sky, palms together. Bringing hands in front of you to chest, to your heart. If you need a little more space, I'm just going to back up because I need a little more space because I'm a little bit close to a table. I did not move. But we're going to start slow. So we're going to work on our balance and strength. So you're going to take that right leg, go to your tip top. I'm going to face you just to show you, but still face the front of your mat if you'd like, or if you're watching me. So you can take your foot, but we're not going in a tree pose. So most people go, oh yeah, we're going to go in a tree. Like, no. We're going to lift that right leg up to the ankle. If you feel more comfortable, lift it up to your knee. Keep it ahead of you. And if you feel comfortable, just start to extend that leg out, extend that foot out. Find balance somewhere. Refocus on something in front of you. Have a little bend in your left knee. And depending on how comfortable you are, just start to really let that leg go in front of you. So I'm going to turn back around. So you can see as I extend that foot. So just work on this. You don't have to rush because we're going to take a moment in this position. Bend that left knee just a smidge. Take that right toe, raise it to your ankle. Lift that foot closer to your knee. Lift it up and out, 90-degree angle. And start to extend that right leg out. My thighs and quads are so tight because I've been doing a lot of weightlifting this week. So, and you want to like bend it and let it out. Don't do that. Just work on extending it slowly. You can get frustrating, but this is part of the fun. Take a few breaths here. It'll get easier as we keep going. And then start to bring that foot in. And the thing you want to work on while we're doing this, is I even do it a little bit, is you want to kind of bend your back. You feel like, oh, I just bend my back and I'll get out further. Don't do that. You want to work on keeping that back straight, keeping that core tight, keeping that bum level as you let that leg go out. So, like I said, I have not warmed up yet, so I'm doing a lot of weightlifting. So it just goes to show, even as teachers, we don't always have the perfect pose in the morning. So you're bringing that leg back and you're going to drop that right foot if you've not done so already. So then we're going to drop down. Start to get a little bend here, so at the front of your mat. We're going to go slide right from that into chair pose. So either stay here with your palms together if that's comfortable. If you are feeling a little adventurous, start to raise those arms. Ooh. Some play with the lights. All right. Stay in chair pose, take a couple breaths. Let me see what's going on here with my lighting. There we go. Nice little fuse, you know, old houses, they're fun. So take another breath in chair pose. Palms together, bring those palms right down. Make sure that core is still tight. And from here, you're going to take a little swerve to the right with those palms together, getting a little bit deeper in chair pose. And release that, coming back to center. Raising back up into mountain pose. Releasing those arms down to the sides, bending over, going back into forward fold. Taking a breath. You're bending at those knees a little bit just to loosen them up still. Loosen up those knees, those quads, those calves. And release, coming back up, raising the arms around. And releasing those arms back down to the floor, coming back into plank. So you can either hop or walk it back into plank. And then go for a chaturanga. So you can go down. If you're not sure what chaturanga is, it's just like we did before. You stop here on the floor and come up into cobra. Or chaturanga, you can go from plank. You're stopping almost with your belly at the floor. And you're getting a little bit deeper back bend there, and up dog. And then releasing, coming up from plank and going back into downward dog. You can scoot back and a little bit deeper stretch there, that's fine. And then once again, we're going to look forward, hop or step to the front of your mat now, that you're a little bit more warmed up. Coming up into mountain pose, and then releasing into a forward fold. Taking some breath. And then go back right down into plank. You can hop back into plank now that you're feeling warmed up. And just crawl back into downward dog once again. I don't know why I've been doing that lately in all my classes. I'm just singing everything. So downward dog, and take a couple breaths here. Maybe you need to walk out those legs again. See if you can get those heels down a little bit further, a little bit closer to your mat. A little bit deeper in that stretch, making sure the core is tight. And coming back into plank and into down to the mat in either cobra or up dog. It feels so great. Then we're going to go back into downward dog once more. And we're going to go look up the front again and hop or step to the front of your mat, coming up into mountain pose and again in forward fold. How's it feel? Starting to get that nice heat going. So again, up into mountain. Palms together. Bring your palms to chest. Close your eyes for a minute. Think about how the body feels again. Just take a moment. See how you're feeling. Vinyasas are nice. They get you heated up quick. And then when ready, just take another breath. Do a little bend at the knees. Swoop the arms around. And forward fold again as you're releasing that oxygen. Now you have your hands once more. We're going to take those hands, elbows to elbows, hand to opposite elbow. Maybe swing a little bit forward, swing a little bit side to side. And when ready, release those hands and take them to the back of your back. Behind your back, and if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can have the hands here. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper in reverse, you can have the hands here. Some people, they'll even take it and they'll actually put their hands together and palms together. This way, they're behind their back. That one can be a little tricky though. So I'm going to just have your hand fingers intersected. Kind of hang nice and low. A little bit deeper in that forward fold. And release the hands back to your mat. Good job. And then once more, we're going to come up into mountain pose. And once again, bring those hands together, palms together. And we're going to bring those palms down to chest. And once more, so we're going to do the same thing that we do with our right leg. So I will come at you again so you can have your left leg here. Balance on the right, a little bend in the right knee. Have left toe up by your ankle. Maybe then slowly rise it to your knee, and then coming into that 90-degree angle, you can have the toe flexed, foot flexed, and slowly coming out in front of you. So I'll do it from the side. You can do it whichever way feels better to you. This leg is ultra tight. So this is a really good one to start working on that lengthening and stretching of these legs and limbs. So especially if you do the sports, if you do weightlifting, like I said, I've been doing a lot of weightlifting for the Miss Health and Fitness lately. So my muscles are just getting tighter and tighter, and I haven't probably been doing as much yoga as I should be. Once again, don't grab it. Just a little bend in that knee, on the right leg. Get your left leg as straight as you can. That's okay. It can't be perfect. Bring that leg in if you need to. This one is really tight. I thought my right was tight and the left is even worse. And bring that foot back next to the knee. Drop it down by the ankle, bring it back to the floor. Good job. Once again, we're going to swoop those arms around, bring them up, and go sitting into chair pose. Bring your palms together. You can bring them here. Then we're going to swing over to the side for a nice little deeper chair pose. And come back to the front. Raise those arms up. Release those knees, bring them back up. Get a nice stretch, get on those toes if you need. And release those toes. Forward fold. Again, we're doing a lot of forward folds. We're really getting a good lengthening system of the body. Come up a little bit for flat back tabletop. So inhale, and then release. Once more. That felt really good. Let's do it again. One more tabletop, flat back. Inhale, and then release. You put the hands behind the ankles for a moment. Really see how deep you can get. Then once again, mountain pose. Fold over, forward fold. Bring hands down. Hop back into plank position. All right, and you can chaturanga or cobra. Take your time getting back into downward dog. As you see, we have a lot of downward dogs here, and crawl the hands back if you need. Feet out, adjust as you need. Now I noticed through this flow, I've been able to get the backs of my heels closer and closer to the mat. Just takes a moment to work on. And I'll come back into plank position. Take a moment here, see how the body feels, right? And go back into downward dog once more, and float through the plank into up dog, or chaturanga, or cobra. And go back down into downward dog. Look up at the front of your mat and hop, skip, step to the front of your mat. And you should be in forward fold. And come up once more. And we're going to add something a little extra here. So we're going to take a moment just to stand at the front of the mat. Just going to add just a little bit of extra things, something that I think is very beneficial with working on lengthening and working the body in flow. I'm going to work on a nice little chair. Take the arms up and sit back into chair. And when ready, take that right leg, lift it back up, and put it behind you directly. You're gonna get a nice little stretch. Do a little back stretch here. And then go into side warrior. A little bit of a deeper stretch, because we didn't really stretch up the groin that much, even though we lengthened out in our legs. This will be a nice little, this will make you feel better after doing that. Let me just put it that way. And bring that left leg. Nice little half crescent stretch, back stretch, and release back into warrior. Turn that foot back towards the front. Bring those arms, swoop them around. Bring the right leg back into chair. Dropping those arms again. And you can either chaturanga or go straight into downward dog. If you take those arms down, or you can just take a moment here. See what feels good. I'm going to swoop these arms down again and around. Go into a plank, hop back, chaturanga, into downward dog. Take a breath, look towards the front once more. I'm going to hop back towards the front, come back up, and release the arms again. Just because it feels good. Do whatever feels good right now. This is a little bit extra bonus. If you're feeling like you're ready for Shavasana, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to take those hands around again into chair pose, taking that left leg up, dropping it behind me. Oh yeah, this calf leg is so sore. I'm going to get a little deep. I'm going to turn that back foot back out, pointed out towards you. Drop those arms into warrior pose. And get a little back stretch. And I forgot the other stretch. Oh my goodness, so I'll have to do it on my back up. Bring that left leg back up. Hand swoop. Up. Oh, I forgot that back stretch. How could I forget that back stretch? And bring those arms back together up into chair pose. Swooping them around. Taking a moment, standing at the top of your mat. He said, see, even we forget sometimes. This is my little bonus I thought last minute to add, and then I still forgot. Just take a moment at the front of your mat and stand here and see how your body feels. Vinyasa flow is such a good full body workout. You can even add weights into some of these poses. I've posted that. I've added weights into some of my Vinyasa flows before. I probably don't do Vinyasa flow as much as I should. But it's good. See, I'm even glistening. Huh. I also have the arrow. So taking this moment, just standing. You can continue to stand if this feels good. Otherwise, we're going to take one last to wrap the arms around and stretch up to the ceiling. Get on those tiptoes if you need. Release those tiptoes, drop the arms, come down. And either you can hop, skip, or just sit back. And we're going to just stretch and get a little nice Shavasana on our mat. So lay down on the floor. Release those legs, release those arms. Get a nice full body stretch like mountain butt on the floor on your mat. And release those arms, dropping them down your sides, palms up. Let the legs just rest. We're not going to do any other boat pose. We're not going to do any other stretches. We're just going to take a moment to just become aware of how our body feels after these movements. Gathering our thoughts. What's nice is through Vinyasa, you usually don't have too much time to think about anything other than what you're doing in the now, than these poses. And like I said, I still get confused, and I love it because, you know, I watch other teachers and I go to other classes, and they get a little lost sometimes. We get so excited about our flow. We get a little right, left, wait, we did right already, we gotta do left, oh, I reversed that, did this. It's totally fine. We're all human. Just take a moment, take a breath. And when ready, start to give the fingers a little movement. Start to give the toes a little twinkle there, a little move. And before we stand up or get up or move, I want you to slowly bring your right leg in, bring your left leg in, and wrap those arms around your knees, around your legs, and give yourself a nice, big, tight hug. Maybe moving side to side. Maybe moving a little bit, you know, rock around. And then rock around the other way. Come back into middle. Drop these legs to your right side, letting your left fall on top of your right. Right arm extending out. I know you can't see me, that's all right, I'll explain it. Left arm lined up with that elbow. And slowly use that left arm to lift you up. Then the right, left leg extending. Come to sitting position. Or heck, if you were standing the whole time, stay in standing position. I want to thank you again for joining me today for this nice fun vinyasa flow. I hope this prepares you and gets you ready for your day, or if this was just a nice break for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this class finds you well, and the light shining in me shines bright through and through to all of you. Namaste. Thank you.